Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Wednesday, 20th August 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. An RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll delivers its favorability ratings on the eve of elections in Jamaica. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. Opinion polls favor Jamaica's current Prime Minister when compared with his opposition counterpart. Andrea Chisholm of TVJ News has details.
Good rating or bad rating? With the stage set for the September 3 general election, Jamaicans are stating their opinions of both party leaders and political parties. This follows the findings of the latest RGR Gleaner Don Anderson polls done from August 2 to 11. 1,008 registered voters were surveyed in all parishes across Jamaica. The data show that 41% of respondents have a good opinion of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. It's a 3 percentage point increase over the May-June 2025 poll. The August 2025 data state that 37% of respondents have a poor opinion of the Prime Minister, while 22% have no opinion. For the opposition leader, 39% of respondents have a good opinion of Mark Golding. It's a 9 percentage point increase over the May-June 2025 poll. The August 2025 data also indicated that 27% of respondents have a poor opinion of the opposition leader, while 34% have no opinion. Looking at the favorability rating of both leaders, it shows a roughly 3 percentage point gap. The margin of error for the poll is plus or minus 3%. For the unfavorability ratings, more people had a poor opinion of the Prime Minister. There's a gap of 10%. Meanwhile, 41% of respondents have a favorable opinion of the JLP, 40% have an unfavorable opinion, while 19% had no opinion. Similarly, 35% of respondents have a favorable opinion of the PNP, 31% unfavorable, and 34% had no opinion. When comparing the favorability data, it shows a 6 percentage point gap, meaning the JLP has a higher favorability rating. However, more people also have a bad opinion of the JLP. There's a 9 percentage point gap between both parties. So what are the top 6 reasons for having a good opinion of the JLP according to respondents? Better plans and ideas. There's trust in their leadership, care for the poor and working class. The JLP has done well in the past, traditional party supporter, and they represent change. Reasons for the bad opinions of the JLP: people don't trust their leadership. They haven't proven themselves. The party only cares about some people. There's a poor track record when the JLP is in power. People never supported the party, and there's too much division and confusion. So what are the top 6 reasons for having a good opinion of the PNP according to respondents? They care about the poor and working class. They have better plans and ideas. They have done well in the past. There's trust in their leadership. People traditionally support the party, and the PNP represents great change. Reasons for the bad opinions of the PNP: they haven't proven themselves, their leadership isn't trusted, a poor track record, respondents have never supported the party, too much division and confusion in the PNP, and they only care about some people.
Just how much would the government of Trinidad and Tobago be saving from the cancellation of independence celebrations due to the state of emergency? Akash Samaru of CNC3 News reports.
On Friday, moments after the major announcement, Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein explained that the cancellation of the Independence Day events and fireworks show were due to security concerns associated with the SOE, and that the money saved can go towards crime-fighting initiatives. So, how much money is the state saving by cancelling the annual event? Well, CNC3 News was reliably informed that this year's parade was estimated to cost around $1.5 million. And that cost was approved by the former PNM government as far back as February via a cabinet note to allow time for proper planning and practice. Now, we were told that $1.5 million was to cover costs associated with the renting of the grandstand, hiring ushers, constructing media towers, installing audio systems, providing guest refreshments, and renting chairs and buses. CNC3 News understands that the grandstand rental alone costs around $600,000. Now, there is some debate over the cost of the fireworks show. A source linked to the former PNM administration claimed it is entirely funded by private companies, but a government official said that while the private sector covers part of that cost, state entities still contribute financially and logistically. They said this year the fireworks display was expected to cost around $1.1 million, with UDACOT planning to cover $700,000 of that total. Now, the $2.6 million figure, which includes the proposed cost for the parade and fireworks show, could be a conservative one, as it does not include the costs associated with the president's toast to the nation, which is usually held at Napa, nor does it factor in the money to be spent by the protective services for their own internal celebrations. We understand government is finalizing its overall figure and will release it in the coming week. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
the General Secretary of the ruling PPPC in Guyana and sitting Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has upped the ante on his vile verbal attacks on local journalists who he claims are anti his party. More in this HGP Nightly News item with Travis Chase, one of the journalists mentioned by Jagdeo.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic and Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has over time escalated his war on the free press, verbally attacking operatives because of stories he does not find favorable to the People's Progressive Party Civic. In light of the alarming regularity of Mr. Jagdeo's anti-media diatribes, the Guyana Press Association says it is deeply concerned about the recent attempts to censor and intimidate local journalists by government officials, opposition candidates, and the party's supporters. At his last press conference, Jagdeo took yet another swipe at journalists because of an online story which he did not find favorable to his party.
President Trump has spoken about fake news. So not because you claim you're media, that means you're media. So who Travis Chase is a gun for hire.
Most recently, the United States 2024 Country Report on Human Rights Practices highlighted that several members of the media in Guyana reported that they faced discrimination and hostile personal verbal attacks. This damning report did not stop the attacks on the media by the PPPC's frontman.
The subservient media in Guyana has not pressed them hard enough about the trip to Barbados.
Mr. Jagdeo's anti-media proclivities are now well known, But the sheer regularity and intensity of these attacks, especially on the privately owned Kaitra News and Stabrook News, happens every Thursday at his press conference.
The Stabrook News, with all of its pretense at journalism and high standard journalism, don't ask any tough questions.
The Guyana Press Association says it takes note of these concerns and are putting politicians on notice that the work of journalists must be respected during this election season. Quote, "We are fully aware of the repercussions recent allegations and acts of intimidation can have on our members professionally and personally." The GPA is also concerned about threats to journalists pursuing certain stories, among those linked to corruption.
A lot of these so-called journalists are anti-PPP.
The Guyana Press Association reminds that journalists should be allowed to work without being intimidated or forced to self-censor, and have called on all involved to desist from intimidatory practices. The GPA has also encouraged its members to uphold the principles of the profession, to be objective, transparent, and balanced. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
As the September 1st polls near in Guyana, the disciplined services would head to the polls this Friday to cast their ballot. Again, Travis Chase reports.
The discipline services of Guyana will head to the polls on Friday, the 22nd of August. And according to Deputy Chief Election Officer Anil Giddings, all systems go for the conduct of the discipline services balloting.
We are well poised for the conduct of these elections on Friday. All of the logistical arrangements have been made. At this point in time, there is nothing aside from maybe force majeure that can prevent such conduct.
10,481 members of the discipline services are eligible to vote. The Deputy Chief Election Officer showed a news conference Monday that already 92 persons working at 20 diplomatic missions are listed to vote, and that returns from 2 diplomatic missions were received already.
We have actually received today returns from 2 diplomatic missions, which are in the custody of the Chief Election Officer as required by law. He has reminded me to say secure custody. They're actually in sealed ballot boxes, in a sealed ballot box, and the sealing of that ballot box was witnessed by contesting agents from the contesting political party.
As it relates to polling stations across Guyana's interior locations, Mr. Giddings explained how the balloting will be conducted.
There are cases where there are boxes that will hopscotch around various locations, usually via air, to allow voting at locations before moving to others. So one box will suffice for that. So 83 locations translates to 67 boxes.
Members of the discipline services usually vote ahead of the nationally scheduled date for polling because they will be required to maintain law and order on that day. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.